What's up, everyone? Today, we're deep diving into one of the most unique characters to hit patch 6.6, Nicole. She isn't just a shielder or attack buffer, she brings a completely new mirror mechanic to the game. In this video, we'll break down her entire kit piece by piece so you can master the ultimate Hexenzirkel support. Normal, charged, and plunge attack. To be honest, there's nothing here. They don't have any special effects, so you don't need to prioritize leveling this talent. Now, let's get into the heart of her utility. Her elemental skill, Revelation Uncreated Light. When activated, Nicole unleashes an AoE Pyro Blast and bestows the Grace of Kenosis effect on your party. This skill serves two massive roles. 1. The Shield of Blazing Light. Nicole creates a pyro shield that scales entirely off her total attack, and pretty though. 2. That Grace of Kenosis effect that I mentioned. At talent level 10, it boosts all your teammates' attack by 15% of Nicole's total attack, capping out at a 600 attack bonus. With a 20 seconds duration and only a 16 seconds cooldown, Nicole can keep your team shielded and buffed with 100% uptime. For notes, Nicole's elemental skill doesn't have any off-field damage ability, so she's not a pyro applier. Elemental skill is pure for shield and attack buff. Next is her Elemental Burst, Ladder of Divine Ascent. Nicole deals 1 times AoE pyro damage and enters the silent contemplation state for 20 seconds. While this mode is active, every time your on-field character hits an enemy, Nicole summons a clone of your active character that called with Arcane Projection for a coordinated attack. 1. Adaptive Element. This is the cool part. The attack's element automatically matches whatever character you're currently using, not Nicole's pyro element. For example, if Varka is your current active character, the Arcane Projection will deal Anemo damage based on Varka stats. Because it matched with active character element, this also ensures Nicole didn't steal Vaporize or Melt from your DPS if you play her in Vapo Melt team. 2. Mirror Scaling. The damage scales off the active character's attack and uses their critical stats. Nicole simply triggers the hit while the power is borrowed from your main DPS. It's essentially a free extra hit that is as strong as your character. For explanation, at level 10, this skill can summon a clone, or called Arcane Projection, with damage based on 200% active character attack. The crit rate and crit damage also following the current active character stats, so that means no need crit stats for Nicole. The Arcane Projection clone can attack every 3 seconds, maximum 5 attacks. This skill duration lasts for 20 seconds, with 15-second cooldown and 60 energy cost. Now, let's talk about her passives, which turn Nicole from a good support into a broken one. 1. Methexis. After Nicole elemental skill is used, if your active character stays on the field for at least 3 seconds, Nicole upgrades their buff from Grace of Kenosis to Guidance of Theosis, adding an extra 300 attack. Interestingly, if the character is a fellow Hexerei member, this upgrade happens instantly without having to wait. Remember, this plus 300 attack only for the active character make the total attack boost into 900. Rest of your teammates only get 600 attack from Nicole elemental skill. 2. Philokalia. Whenever any party member deals elemental damage, Nicole immediately upgrades the buff to that same Guidance of Theosis state for 8 seconds. This ensures that even in quick swap teams where characters don't stay on field for 3 seconds, you can still maintain that 900 attack bonus just by attacking. And this buff lasts for 8 seconds. 3. Witch's Buff. If you have at least 2 Hexerei characters in your team, Arcane Projection coordinated attacks from her burst get a massive damage boost, equal to 150% of Nicole's own attack. This turns her from a pure buffer into a serious off-field damage dealer. 4. Nepsis. For the explorers out there, Nicole's charged attack acts as a built-in treasure compass. It summons a Seelie to lead you to the nearest chest, perfect for hitting that 100% map exploration. So, how does all of this work? Your goal with Nicole is simple. stack her total attack to 4,000, because 15% from 4,000 attack is 600. This is her attack buff cap amount from elemental skill. When you use her skill, you get a thick shield and an initial attack buff. Follow that up with her burst for extra damage. In short, Nicole stops your DPS from getting interrupted, boosts their stats, and adds extra damage for your team. She's super strong and universal support. The Hexerei lineup isn't just about the Hexenzirkel witches. It's a specialized group featuring familiar faces like Klee, Albedo, Mona, Venti, Sucrose, Fischl, Razor, Urin, and Varka. Nicole, Lohen, and Prune are newcomers for patch 6.6. By completing the Hexerei Secret Rite quest and Witch's homework system, you can unlock their Hexerei ability. But this ability only works if you pair at least 2 Hexerei characters in one team. It will break their usual limits and unlocking powerful effects. Your main focus should be on Nicole's elemental skill and elemental burst. Maximize her elemental skill first to strengthen her shield's durability and reach that 900 attack buff ceiling. Level 10 is recommended. Follow up with her burst to increase her initial nuke and coordinated attack damage. Level 9 is enough and doesn't give a huge difference by putting crown on it. As for her normal attacks, you can safely leave them at level 1 as they don't contribute to her primary role as a support unit. Since Nicole is often paired with another Pyro like Durin for the Hexerei Synergy, Bennett for attack buffs, or Chevreuse in Overload teams, and sometimes even Venti for his energy restore. An ER range of 150% to 170% is usually enough for a consistent rotation. However, if Nicole is your only Pyro unit, you'll need to push her ER up to 200%. If your team has Favonius users, or if you're using energy-focused weapons like her signature or the Oathsworn Eye, you can safely drop Nicole ER to 130% to 140%. This allows you to focus more on her attack, while still keeping her burst ready for every rotation. Nothing beats the new 4-piece Hexerei set. The 2-piece bonus gives your Nicole a solid 20% energy recharge, which helps to reach ER requirement. And the 4-piece effect is where the magic happens. 4-piece effect. After using elemental skill, Nicole grants the entire team a 20% elemental damage bonus based on the artifact wielder element. For this case, the entire Nicole team will grant 20% pyro damage bonus, because Nicole is a pyro character. However, if you trigger the Hexerei Secret Rite, by having a second Hexerei member in your team, this buff is upgraded from 20% to 40% elemental damage that covers both Nicole's element and your active character's element. For example, if Varka is your active character, the entire party will receive both 40% animo and 40% pyro damage bonus. If your active character is Raiden Shogun, the entire party will receive both 40% electro and 40% pyro damage bonus. Just remember, these bonuses will always correspond to Nicole's element and the element of your current active character. By equipping this artifact set, Nicole provides massive benefits to your team. 1. A huge attack buff, giving you 600 attack from her elemental skill, plus an additional 300 attack from her passive. 2. A solid shield. 3. Plus 40% elemental damage bonus. This makes Nicole a true triple threat, providing massive buffs, solid protection, and also high off-field damage from her ult, all at the same time. Since Nicole's shield and buff scale entirely off her total attack, our priority is simple: high base attack, attack percent stats, and a bit of energy recharge. Naturally, her best in-slot is her signature weapon, 7 Edicts of Dust and Light. This weapon starts with 49 base attack at level 1 and reaches a massive 741 base attack at level 90. This ties it for the highest base attack in the game, alongside weapons like Song of Broken Pines and Calamity Queller. On top of that, it provides a 16.54% attack bonus at max level. These weapons have some effects. First, it grants 12% attack more. Then, whenever Nicole creates a shield, she grants the active character a 10% DM bonus for every 1,000 attacks she has, capping at a massive 26% damage bonus. But that's not all. When the active character receives this buff, Nicole restores 14 flat energy, significantly lowering her ER requirements. Interestingly, this energy restore can even trigger out of combat just by opening chests. This entire effect has a 16-second cooldown, but since the buff lasts for 20 seconds and can trigger off-field, you're looking at 100% uptime. If you've unlocked the Hexerei Synergy by having at least 2 Hexerei characters in your party, this weapon gains a powerful bonus. Off-field Hexerei members will also receive 50% of the active character's buff. So, if your active hero get 26% damage boost, your off-field Hexerei unit will still gain a 13% damage bonus. This makes the signature weapon a must-have for maximizing a Hexerei-centric team. The second best is a 5 stars Crane's Echoing Call. This is Yanyan's signature weapon. Now let's be clear, the passive on this weapon is completely useless for Nicole since she doesn't use plunging attacks in her rotation. However, the only reason you'd use this is for its massive 741 base attack, which is tied for the highest in the game. It's a great stat booster to maximize her shield and flat attack buffs. Next, we have the Skyward Atlas. If you don't have Nicole's signature, or even Jianyan's weapon, this is arguably your best 5-star alternative. With a high 674 base attack and a massive 33.1% attack substat, this is the ultimate shortcut to hitting that 4,000 attack cap. If you have this in your bag, stop overthinking and just put it on her. It's a great stat booster. Fourth best option is the Memory of Dust. While it doesn't have the highest base attack at 608, it makes up for it with a massive 49.6% attack substat. This weapon will help you reach that 4,000 attack cap very quickly. However, keep in mind that the passive is mostly a personal buff for Nicole. The 20% shield strength only applies to her, and the stacking attack buff only triggers while she is on field. Since Nicole is an off-field support, you won't get much value from the passive. We only use the weapon stats. Next is Vivid Notions. Purely for the stats, this is a great pick. It has a high 674 base attack and 28% attack bonus from its passive, which helps you reach the 4,000 attack cap easily. Just ignore the plunging attack buffs. They're useless for Nicole. The 44.1% crit damage only benefits for Nicole's personal damage while casting her skill or burst. Cash Flow Supervision is another solid 674 base attack stat booster that provides a 16% attack bonus. But you can completely ignore the crit rate and normal attack buffs as they don't contribute to Nicole's support scaling. Teyvat's Remembrance offers a high 674 base attack to help reach your attack goals. But the crit damage and normal attack speed buffs are completely wasted since Nicole won't be staying on field to attack. Oathsworn Eye is arguably Nicole's best 4-star option because it provides a decent 565 base attack and 27.6% attack substat, while its passive grants a massive 48% energy recharge boost after using her skill, perfectly balancing her attack and energy recharge. Royal Grimoire, Flowing Purity, Lost Prayer, and Kagura's Verity all serve as high base attack that can easier reaching Nicole's 4,000 attack cap, even if their secondary passives offer no utility for her support kit. Jadefall's Splendor has 608 base attack, but it's inefficient for Nicole. While she can trigger the energy restore effect once per rotation when Nicole create a shield, and the HP percent substat offers 0 benefit to her attack scaling buffs. Same as Jadefall's Splendor, Favonius Codex is a last choice for Nicole because its low 510 base attack makes it nearly impossible to reach her 4,000 attack cap, forcing you to sacrifice massive attack buff and shield potential for supporting your team energy. Hakushin Ring is only viable for Nicole in Chevreau's Overload team, where she can actually trigger the Electro reaction to buff the team. But its mid-tier 565 base attack still makes reaching her 4,000 attack cap much harder than other options. The ER stats is useful, but this is an element-locked weapon. Any weapons not mentioned are either underperforming or simply haven't been released yet. Take this as a guide, not a strict rule. Remember, weapons with 741 or 674 base attack are top tier for Nicole. However, a 608 base attack weapon without an attack percent substat is actually less valuable than a 565 base attack 4-star with an attack percent substat, which is why Oathsworn Eye can easily outperform Lost Prayer or Kagura's Verity for her build. Nicole's gameplay is simple. She must always open the rotation. For example, team with Varka, Durin, and Venti. Start rotation with Nicole's skill, then burst immediately to catch her own particles. The reason she goes first is her passive. While her E-skill gives 600 flat attack to everyone, but the extra 300 attack buff from passive are locked only for on-field unit. But don't worry, your off-field characters can also claim that extra 300 attack by swapping and dealing elemental damage. Once triggered, this buff lasts for 8 seconds and remains active even after they leave the field. So the trick is simple. Just swap and hit with each support to ensure everyone captures that bonus. Start with Nicole, cycle your supports, and end with your main DPS. Simple as that. Nicole is a universal attack buffer and shielder. Her best teams are Varka, Pyro, Spiral to maximize his damage potential. Because Varka is a Hexerei on-field DPS, Arcane Projection from Nicole's ult will receive additional damage by 150% Nicole's attack. Any Hexerei on-field DPS are Nicole Best Teamcomp. Chevreau's Overload is good also for massive bonus damage and attack, also Resistance Shred, and many Teamcomp with attack scaling I'll put on screen.
Nicole is already a solid support at C0, and her Constellations will upgrade it more. C1 provides a nice additional damage by summoning another Arcane Projection. This performs coordinated attacks that deal 600% of the corresponding character's attack as elemental damage. It's a great way to add extra off-field pressure while your main DPS is active. C2 is her first major power spike. Nicole's elemental skill will grant an additional 240 flat attack that doesn't affect the 600 buff limits. It also shreds the enemy's elemental resistance by 20%. Plus, it adds a team-wide shield for co-op, similar to Zhongli's cons. C3 increases the level of elemental skill by 3 level. This makes the buff percentage from 15%. Attack at talent level 10 goes up to 17.7%. Attack at level 13. The 600 buff attack limit, also upgraded to maximum 708 attack. C4. This will give Nicole new mechanic that very similar to Shenhe Quills. When your teammates upgrade their buff to Guidance of Theosis, Nicole grants them the Pathfinder's Blessing. This works exactly like a quill or flat damage buffer. It takes 70% of Nicole's total attack and adds it directly to the base damage of your active character's normal, charged, skill, and burst attack. Because this bonus is added before your main DPS's crit and damage multipliers are calculated, or we called it as base damage, the final numbers you see on screen will skyrocket. It has a trigger limit of 8 hits per character, or when its duration is over. When multiple opponents are hit at the same time, the number of times Pathfinder's Blessing takes effect is based on the number of enemies hit. This is why building as much attack as possible on Nicole is no longer just for her shield. It's now your primary source of team damage. C5 increases the level Elemental Burst by 3 level. This increased the arcane projection percentage from 200% at level 10 to 236% at level 13. You'll feel true power from this skill if runing Nicole with on-field Hexerei DPS. Finally, C6 is her absolute peak. It solves her rotation complexity by making her Guidance of Theosis buffs permanent. No more worrying about buff durations or specific triggers. All characters under this effect will ignore 40% of the opponent's defense, making C6 Nicole arguably the best attack support in the game. So, is Nicole worth your Primo Gems? The short answer is absolutely yes. If you are looking for a universal massive attack buffer and shielder, Nicole is a top-tier investment. She isn't just a Bennett alternative. She is a distinct powerhouse that can push total team's damage. For F2P and low spenders, Nicole is perfectly functional at C0. She provides a massive flat attack buff and a reliable shield. You don't need her constellations to make her viable, but getting her to C2 is the sweet spot for extra resistance shred. For whale or dedicated Nicole mains, her C6 is arguably top-tier support constellations in the game. The combination of permanent buffs and a 40% defense ignore makes her an irreplaceable slot in any attack scaling team. If you're running hyper carries like Varka, or even off-field unit like Xiangling, Nicole is the last piece of your puzzle. Pull for her if you need a versatile Pyro support. Skip her only if your main teams rely entirely on HP, defense, elemental mastery, or specific reactions like Milu's Bloom or Skirk's Freeze. Nicole plus Durin is a Hexerei wheelchair. Whether you're a F2P player looking for a solid shielder or a whale chasing that 40% defense ignore, Nicole has something for everyone. She's officially the new gold standard for attack buffers. Thanks for watching and happy grinding, travelers!